Franta cooldown.
Franta's not coming.
He got poisoned. Probably from food. He's writhing in agony. By turns praying and cursing, spewing from both ends.
Oh, that's enough. All right. At least you're here.
We can't be without a waiter here, when the king himself will need waiting on.
So, let's have a look at you. Have you got Franta's certificate?
Sure. Here it is.
Everything's in order. Now, about your livery. You've got a waiter's cap, a tunic you have. Hose are good. It's a good thing you've got no steel on you. You need to be light on your feet to run around tables. Everything as it should be. Glad to see it, lad. Do you know what your duties are? For an inexperienced greenhorn like you, it'll be a great responsibility.
Well, I'll happily listen to any advice. I wouldn't want to foul things up.
I should certainly hope not. Now listen. A good waiter should stand in a corner, look willing and ready, and not get in anyone's way. In short, behave as if you're not there. But when one of the gentlemen calls for wine, you run and pour it for him on the double. You'll find the pitchers on a table by the door to the chapel. You take one and go to their table and pour for them. White Tokaib or red monastery wine.
White or red, by the door to the chapel. Got it.
But for Councillor Adam of Zarzhitz, you must not pour at all. When he drinks, he disrupts and makes trouble. So the assembly has to be interrupted, or otherwise it never reaches an end. We can't allow that to happen in the presence of the king.
All right. Sir Adam of Zarzhitz stays dry.
And if the king himself wants wine, you pour for him with lowered eyes. Don't look at him. And the most important thing?
To stay in the background and keep quiet until someone asks me something?
Correct. The councillors have a lot to discuss, and they certainly don't need any interruptions. And in general, a good waiter has to be invisible, blind, and deaf.
Oh? I thought I had to keep my ears pricked.
Well, yes, but only to what anyone wants from you. No excuses, and provide everything that anyone wants from you. Understood?
What if I make a mess of something, though?
Then I'll see to it that you won't get a job even mopping the floor in the hole in the wall. But I'm sure that's not going to happen. So, are you prepared?
Can you tell me once more?
Are you soft in the head? Don't pour for Adam of red monastery wine, white Tokai by the door to the chapel. Got it?
What do you want?
I want to report my neighbor.
For what?
He walks around in the yard at night with an axe.
Maybe he heard something and went to have a look.
But he walks around my yard.
Ah, well, that's different. Did you do anything to him?
Not that I know of.
Well, I'll look into it when I have the time.
I'd prefer if it was sooner than later.
Kindly, leave that up to me.
I know everything I need to. I can do it.
Excellent. Put away your things here. It's easier to serve with a lighter load. You can wait in the cubbyhole for the servants.
Joke. And on top of that, the army was requisitioning from it.
I apologize.
Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any Räuber in the domain?
That's the white.
What are you getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Hinnick, the Dry Devil, used that thing. That Hackenbüchel.
I'll be right back.
Can you believe it?
With the wine.
Where did they get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them, since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them, Herrgott. It is eine Schande when outlaws have better weapons than the city garrison. And Herr König surely knows this too.
Boy, are you deaf?
The city reserves are in urgent need of new weapons.
There are the pictures of wine.
Our current
Hopefully I won't splash anyone's shoes.
And on top of that, the army... requisitioning from it. Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any Räuber in the domain?
What are
Which
you
one?
getting at,
Tokai,
Eldris?
white.
I'm saying that
deaf?
the bandits who freed Hinnick, the Dry Devil, used that thing. That Hackenbüchel. Hand cannon. Can you believe it? Where did they get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them, since you're a gunsmith.
Sir?
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they
Thank
had
you,
them,
waiter.
Herrgott. It is eine Schande when outlaws have better weapons than the city garrison. And Herr König surely knows this too.
What is it, Eldris? You smell a deal?
What I smell
like
is
some
that
monastery
your
wine.
stubborn heads
Refill my
do
cup,
not
boy.
realize what Schwierigkeiten this is. The Dry Devil is running free. There are Raubritter everywhere in the region. We have the army bearing down, and you want to defend yourselves with a few rusty halberds.
And who is it you want to
thank
fight?
the Lord.
Exactly. The merciful King Sigismund is providing us with protection, isn't he?
Der König and
White
his
Sir,
army
pour me
will
red
not
wine.
be here forever.
Shut up! The king can arrive at any moment.
I
What have he
apologize,
heard?
sir.
What
Which
then?
one?
Red
We're
and
sitting
quickly.
atop the biggest silver heap in the kingdom, and we're supposed to defend it with brooms?
You're right, Eldris. But where can we get the coin for better equipment?
We can always confiscate
Sir?
the property of the king's enemies, nicht wahr?
We are
Well,
more than
thank the
familiar
Lord.
with the jämmerlich state of our armory. And the king is surely aware of it as well. Maybe if he waived some of the taxes.
The king fears that this town will rise against him. He'll take the arming of the city's militia as a preparation for war.
So you suggest we just wait with arms crossed for the Raubritter to wreak havoc all... Round.
We can always ask the king to bring order to the realm with his army.
But then the Dörfler will rise up.
I'm afraid I see no solution of the current situation. We shall wait and see what His Majesty thinks about the matter. Maybe we can change his mind. Vielleicht?
I'd like to report to the Honorable Council on the cleanliness of the city and the state of
bring
the
that
public
red
baths.
with you.
In baths
Which
or
one?
brothels.
Monastery red.
I apologize.
Isn't it the same thing?
So, the cleanliness of the city is not what it should be. The current baths in the city fall far short of covering all the citizens' needs.
You're right, Jerome. But a woman named
That's
Betty
the
has showed
way.
up in Hopbrink.
Good lad.
To repair the baths that used to be there.
She's a protege of Marish. Her efforts are commendable, but I don't think she will succeed.
More wine, Master
It
Bailiff.
takes a firm hand, not soft, feminine fingers.
A moment ago, you were complaining there weren't enough baths. Shouldn't we support her?
I need something from you. There is an item in my study that I confiscated from a female thief. She thought she could wriggle out of it by telling me who the item belongs to.
And what is it?
A silver goblet. She sneaked into Sir Ulrich's house and stole it. No one's noticed the theft yet. But if Ulrich finds out, he'll turn the city upside down to find the culprit. Go and get it. And don't you make a mess there, understand?
Have you forgotten the Black Death? A great many people died needlessly.
Certainly, sir. I'll be right back.
Come back with it straight away, understood?
Lord wishes to punish the wickedness that's going on in there.
Keeping the city clean is important. But we don't have money to
I'm
spend.
sorry.
Arguing about
wasn't paying
who is going to
attention.
wash where and how is a waste of time.
It's only a waste of time because we're always arguing about the same thing.
Whose
Not at
silver
all.
might this be?
If you'd finally admit that it's a trifle, we wouldn't have to keep coming back to it.
A trifle? Do you ever walk the streets here? Sewage, rats, slop and rubbish. The least we can do for the citizens is to provide them with a place to wash up.
What nonsense! Next, you'll want me to serve wine to everyone for free, too.
Why not? In Jerome Nars's earthly paradise, everything would be free.
Don't put words in my
I
mouth.
apologize.
Gentlemen, let's agree to disagree.
I'd like to report to the Honorable...
So, did you find it?
And the state of the public baths.
You mean baths or
I did, Master Bailiff. Here it is.
Not so loud. Show. That's it. Now go back to your job.
Cleanliness of... is not what it should... be. The current baths in the city fall far short of covering all the citizens' needs.
You're right, Jerome. But a woman named Betty has showed up in Hopbrink and wants to repair the baths that used to be there.
She's a protege of Marish. Her efforts are commendable, but I don't think she will succeed. It takes a firm hand, not soft, feminine fingers.
A moment ago, you were complaining there weren't enough baths. Shouldn't we support her?
Something like this is better handled by trustworthy people, like my friend, bathhouse proprietor Adam. The need for cleanliness and citizens' health should not be underestimated.
nor overestimated. If someone needs to wash, there's a river just a few steps from the city walls.
Certainly. And they can get leeches there for free as well. And while he's there, a man can shave and take a You know what?
So what? Going to the baths is neither a civic duty nor a right.
Have you forgotten the Black Death? A great many people died needlessly.
Are you questioning God's plan? The Black Death had nothing to do with the baths, unless the Lord wishes to punish the wickedness that's going on in there.
Keeping the city clean is important, but we don't have money to spare. Arguing about who is going to wash where and how is a waste of time.
I got word that Rutard has pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old weasel will never accept that the city isn't run his way, at least until His Majesty honors us with his
Waiter,
visit.
pour
And
me
as
red
we know,
wine.
Gunslin
apologise, sir.
absolutely hates
Which
him.
wine?
Red.
He can hate all
and
he wants,
quickly.
as long as he does no damage. Ulrich, what have you got to say about it?
Me? Well, I'm not sure what you're implying.
Horseshit! You know full well.
Sir?
Everybody knows. He wiped the floor with you.
Compose
Well,
yourself, Adam,
thank the
and
Lord.
stop drinking. The king might come any time now.
That's right. Let's not burden the anointed monarch with such...
Me? Hose myself.
Waiter!
Me?
Pour me red wine.
I beg your pardon. I demand that you...
Ruhe! Franz, please continue.
I'm speaking about the Rutard incident. You were there, weren't you?
Oh,
Sorry.
just a small misunderstanding. We've
Thank
sorted
you,
it out and
waiter.
Everything's settled.
My ears must be deceiving me. Are you defending Rutard? Besides, if his men attacked yours, as I've heard, then we have a good reason to punish him.
What happened there?
A cup of
Leave
red.
nothing out.
I don't
Which
like
one?
Rutard, true, but
Monastery
in this case,
red.
it really was nothing.
Everyone in the city gossiped about it. I heard there were several dead.
Did you? That's grossly exaggerated. I
Well,
don't think
thank goodness.
Rutard will cause any trouble. He is sensible enough not to draw attention to himself while the king is here.
That's true. Because if we don't do something about him, the king himself will put an end to him, and soon.
Unless he puts an end to us first. God knows what he wants to tell us.
If nothing happened, there's no point in dwelling on it. Let's move on.
Things have got out of order in the town. Some adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. It's not only barbaric, but also illegal. If we tolerate this, the rabble in the city will go wild
boy,
and do whatever they want.
Of monastery
I
wine.
suspect the gentleman from the city's sword-fighting school brought this custom to us. It's now run by the German Menhard. Who knows who that fellow is?
Don't be ridiculous, Forsucker. You act like you've never been in a fight.
Hang around me.
And
Vanish,
you
you hear me?
A swordsmaster without a shred of proof.
As you wish.
We're not some old fishwives
Sir
in the
Ulrich.
marketplace.
Go.
So you will just leave it be?
Proven offences are punished by the baby.
Boy,
And
word.
that's that.
Refill,
There
sir.
are more
Do you think I
pressing
come to the
matters
council
deal
just to guzzle
More
wine?
pressing
Come
than
here.
Open contempt.
What can I help you with, sir?
I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot to take them. I can't just get up and walk out now. But if you disappear for a little while...
What if they have one more reason?
My words exactly. The town council is squabbling constantly.
All right. I'll get them.
I knew I could count on you. While you're at it, count how many figures on the mural.
But...
Because I'm bored.
For a beer, I'd soon be out of customers.
Ah, to hell with it. We'll never get anywhere like this. Why waste our time?
That was easy enough. And he wanted me to count the winged figures.
So, let's...
I found your glove.
Really? And did you count?
I didn't have time.
Your work is to fulfill the...
There's the eternal dispute over the cathedrals. The building of the church is dragging on, and in the meantime, they are calling diocesan pilgrimages to settlers, right under our noses. It's just a village with a monastery, and they are going to make a royal mining city. Why can't we build faster? Hire more craftsmen, start with night shifts.
Because those so-called craftsmen
lad.
are a
Cup
band
of bread.
of parasites.
Don't
You pay
skimp on
them,
me.
they come late, or report sick, and if they do come, their work is shit, and you have to pay someone else
Sir?
to put it right. It's a waste
You,
of
lad.
time. I tell
You
you,
look familiar
a
to
waste
me.
of time.
Have we
Adam, don't interrupt the proceedings with your drunken
Well, naturally.
ranting.
I go to your tavern almost every day.
And
Really?
as for you,
Then you
haven't
must
you
have
noticed
decent
that
wages to be able to
all
visit the best tavern in
are
town
the
regularly.
experts from far off supposed to work in a city under siege?
Besides, I get the feeling there's something other than the welfare of the city behind your complaints.
Oh, you do? Do you? And what would that be?
Like, for instance, that you'd like to have your own altar there?
So what if I would?
Hold your horses, gentlemen. That
Why?
space in the
I
side
like them
nave
right.
is mine.
When hell freezes over, my friend, your place is at least 2 steps behind mine.
A swordsmith dares to insult me? Ha!
Sir?
I think not.
Excuse me? You wanted to buy
Good.
yourself an
Now
altar
run
in
off.
the cathedral, just like you bought yourself a seat in this council.
How dare you? I acquired my seat for the services our guild provided and still provides to the crown.
Well, I hope you're not supplying equipment to the army. If that's all they
Hey,
have,
boy,
they would be
a full cup of
defeated by that
monastery
bunch
wine.
of ne'er-do-wells from the alehouse on Hopbrink.
What ne'er-do-wells?
Those wrestlers of theirs, of course. People from
Sir?
the whole town go to watch them brawl.
Oh, this is news to
Thank
me.
you, waiter.
Because it has all been sorted out. Not long ago, the guards raided and threw them all out.
Ah, yes, I had forgotten. What do we have to discuss next?
I'm telling you, something is being planned.
Oh, I doubt it. No one's gonna tackle Rootard.
Gabon. Azonal Juchek Össe, Elegiop Katonaikat, Ishkelkinek Udra.
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
Like this man of false!
Come now, Father. Put a little life into your dying. Seen more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't part ways with my father on entirely good terms. 20 years ago.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser. At your Ujit's parish, you spread the word of God to your flock, and you saved my neck and Henry's too. I'd say your father should be proud of you.
None of that matters a damn to him.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject. How does it feel to breathe free air again?
What can I say? You can never truly appreciate freedom until someone locks you up for a while.
Or until you become a priest.
No fear of that in my case. I intend to enjoy life to the full. Wine, women, and song.
Who's that French fella?
The great Baron Brabant. Been everywhere, knows everything, and has the keys to half the kingdom. He's got more fairy tales than my old nanny.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth, but a harmless one. Besides, he defended Kuttenberg, and you know how that went. If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with me.
Do you know any of the...
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty varied company. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi coming together here. It's like the start of some joke.
Wait a moment. Rabbi, you say? The Kuttenberg rabbi?
Yeah. He came with a retinue. But for now, they're keeping mostly to themselves. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all, this used to be your home. And you're a spiritual man.
I wouldn't be too sure. What do you plan to do?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head like a church bell.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be deciding the future of the kingdom here?
I'll leave that to the older and wiser. And duller.
Dear me. But I suppose I'll have to...
Indeed you should.
Oh, don't start with that.
In that case, you should...
Such rare guests. I'm Godwin. My greetings to you.
Peace be with you. Neither would one...
How do you know I'm a...
It's not difficult, and we are both... I'm Yehuda, leader of the Rabbin, and this is...
We would rather not be here at all. Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring at us?
And why would they not stare when you are...
Are you looking for...
Let us say rather that we have chosen the situation in the... You have men and weapons.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer?
Everything in good time.
Did you come to lend money to the lords?
Not to lend, but...
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money...
You remind me of my young friend Henry.
Henry? That messenger of Radzik Copula?
You know each other?
That would be him. We did not get off to a very good start.
Henry's done a few things I'd like to give him a slap or two for. But like they say, to err is human. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. It's not so long since his parents were killed in Skalitz. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead, he's roaming the world, risking his neck at every turn.
Wait, a blacksmith, you say? From Skalitz?
Aye, that's right. Did you know anyone there?
I knew of someone. A blacksmith by the name of Martin.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel is in...
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one. Ma raised me on her own.
And that was all for the best.
Why? He should have taken care of me, but instead he fathered another bastard.
Don't make hasty judgments. As far as I know, Martin didn't have any other children. At least, none of his own. He took in Henry and raised him as his own on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzik Kobula, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other Mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him, just like yours did to you.
A person can't choose their parents. And Henry only found out about it recently.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink. Will you have one too, Zayde?
For that...
Good health.
L'chaim.
Everything all right?
I can't wait for it to...
Would you tell me?
What can I tell you? It was never exactly...
Surely it wouldn't.
There are many fools who would rather take out their
I reckon you'd have to be pretty...
Or pretty pissed off. We will leave us soon anyway. All of...
Everyone will realize you can't wage war without coin.
Glad you finally accepted.
Good health to you, sir.
Baron Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. I am a warrior, a traveler.
My word.
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet...
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Baron. You say you're a poet?
Jamais! Is poetry nothing but a fuss to you? I think not.
Where have you been?
But of course! I was born by the sea. If you are interested in my grit, and if you are interested in my...
And you wouldn't by any chance know the Pope?
Which one do you mean? I spoke brief.
How did you end up...
Ah, c'est une histoire compliquée. It was after I heroically led the defense of... and only lost it narrowly.
That needs some explanation.
Oh, misère. It is clear you have never been to war.
So?
When they broke through the defense, I ended up in captivity. It was only due...
Oh. I thought...
My neck was not at risk in Maleshov. I may have still been a prisoner with my personal freedom restricted. But they never broke my spirit.
How come almost...
I am operating, as they say. My great benefit is my strong connection with the French court. There, everyone knows my name. Here in Boy...
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here, too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess.
Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That horse son won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
We'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Well, that went just as expected. Good health. And to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here? I would have expected a bit more sense from Jobst, of all people. He made an amateur's mistake. But it's hard to be angry with him when he's trying to ingratiate himself with everyone. By the way, I'm John of Liechtenstein. And you must be Godwin, the son of... That's not a thing I've ever boasted of. How do you know that? I have my sources. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be quite useful to me at today's gathering. Was that so? Indeed. And that's why I'd like to ask something of you. It depends what it's all about. A little delicate diplomacy. I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan has certain... shortcomings? That's a weak word. And the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support of the council. But I have an idea how to change that. Well, I'm curious how you hope to shut Zizka up and satisfy the ones who want peace. We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, as Jobst proposes, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army. If Sigismund decides to mount an attack on the camp, it'd be a massacre. Ah, but it won't. Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. And besides, he's running out of resources. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves. But he won't engage an equal force on the battlefield. But he can't retreat either. That would be a disgrace. And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary by events there. For the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We've already set the ground for it. We just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right direction. Are you saying you set everything in motion even before Jobst? More like in parallel, but without his knowledge. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll all win. You've got an interesting way of approaching things. You're certainly not the first to tell me that. I take it as a compliment. Why are you doing all this anyway? Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths. And also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne. I'll help you. What exactly should I do? I'll give you 3 names. Botchek of Kunstadt, Haman Alder, and Anna of Waldstein. If you can get those 3 on our side, we've won the day. Meanwhile, I'll take care of Jobst. What if it doesn't work? I refuse to even consider that outcome. Tell me a bit more. Certainly. Botchek of Kunstadt. That's just the thing. He's got massive... He doesn't play the big game. Because he always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind up... Alder the Alderman. Wasn't he a Kuttenberg councillor? He still is. The only one who retained his position after the city was taken. But he'll continue to have a strong influence. Anna of Waldstein. The widow of that rich mine owner. Wenzel Bartosz. And I'm not surprised you for... I was quite surprised to see her. A male affair? So Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary young widow. But and what use can she be to us? She's as sharp as they come when it comes... There are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired most of his wealth thanks to her. And that it was thanks to her that he died, too. Why me? Because you've got a head on your shoulders. You and your friend Henry, there aren't many like... I'll get on it. I wish us both... Success to our plans. God be with you, noble lady. There's something I'd like to ask of you.
God be with you. What would that be?
Your diplomatic support. And your money.
No beating around the bush, eh? I like that. But what do you want my money for?
Margrave Yob's plan has some gaps, milady. We need to gather enough resources to...
To muster an army that Margrave can't afford on his own?
Christ. Be praised. You're astute.
I should say so. All sorts of people have their eyes on my money, and divining their intentions is a necessity. Although, between the two of us, it isn't hard to figure out what Liechtenstein is after.
Hit the nail on the head again, Mom. You're well informed.
I am rarely mistaken.
I'd say you have a better nose for people than most of this crowd.
Not only for people, but also for good food and wine. And beneficial deals.
Then you're in the right place.
The wine here is average. The cooks lack imagination. So...
Nothing more than support and resources for an army to...
Nothing more? I'd say that's plenty. And why ask me for help? Why...
It's not only your money we're interested in. You're well able to negotiate and trade. And if you were to take part in our plan...
Then I'd be helpful to you on two fronts. If you want me to support you, you must give me a good reason.
Do you have something in particular in mind?
Well, one of the guests here has...
Who's that?
Haman Alder. Now, if you were to switch these papers for the one...
And these papers...
My relatives somehow dug up some trade contracts between myself and...
You were dealing with the enemy.
They were not the enemy at the time. My conscience is clear. But I'll rest easier when those papers...
Have you fallen out with the time?
No. Alder is innocent in the matter. My relatives are disappointed that I dared out, and the fact that I'm handling his estate.
And the papers I'm
Just insignificant documents. If the incriminating...
I'm supposed to...
Haman Alder was... He hasn't yet had a...
All right, I'll help.
Alder will surely have the papers in his... Bring them to me. But watch yourself.
I tell you, nobody has the likes of these.
Not even Bocek?
Not even Bocek. And he's a great lord.
That's hard to believe.
Martin likes to...
I'd like to check your horses out.
Ha! Even better.
And you might not believe your eye.
Well.
I wanted to...
You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without it by your leave.
I want to have a word with Alder.
Well, I'm having a word with you.
I apologize, Father.
For interrupting our conversation? Or just for being you?
Is that your...
Unfortunately. Speak up, then. What are you doing here?
We'll talk later and in private.
Don't try my...
Why so strict, Martin?
20 years ago, he was nothing but a cheeky brat, only interested in wenches and booze. I got him a place at the Archbishopric. Only it wasn't long before they kicked him out. And then, I find out he's settled in some backwater parish in Sassau. But he took his boozing and whoring along with him. Lost everything.
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you in the outer courtyard.
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the way you disgraced our whole family?
You're exaggerating, like you've always done.
Me? Exaggerating? You're the one who turned my home into a house of ill repute. Your whores wandering around as if they owned the place.
Oh, actually, anything fun was strictly banned under your roof. But maybe you ought to try it yourself sometime. Then maybe you wouldn't be such a bitter old grouch.
Dishonoring your host.
I can't dishonor someone who has no honor. If you had any, you'd be...
That's enough.
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults. I challenge you to a duel.
I'm not happy about it, but I accept. This isn't how I imagined my first meeting with my brother.
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man. Stay back. You want to try me? Take that!
Look in my eyes, not at my sword!
Enough! That will do.
Greetings to you, friend.
Big enough for that bastard Istvan to raise a small army. He caused us a shitload of trouble. I heard about that, Hungy.
May I have a word with you, sir?
You? Anytime. Unlike this pack of
Young Lord Capon is...
He got a harsh lesson, but if not, war.
Do you think there's really going to...
I sincerely hope so. Whoever...
What do you think about...
Are you testing me? Jobs
to turn out well. Some are up to their...
Better make sure you're among...
have you got some...
Their forefathers lived up to their... And they think that...
But surely they're not...
Allies or not, some...
What? God bless.
Aren't you a bit...
What's your problem?
God forbid.
Not really.
Shall we...
Well, I'll wait at the table.
Godwin, we didn't have much time for...
With pleasure, sir. Where did you leave, sir?
Haven't you heard? No one even imagined Divish... Godwin.
Well... What are you
Well, but, all going well, as long as we proceed without...
I've got those papers.
Quiet!
Milady, with all the clamour going... Here they are.
You're more capable than I expected.
You're welcome.
As agreed. I will support...
Thank you, noble lady.
Yes, quite. But let's drink to our...
How could I refuse a toast with such a...
And to the success...
I'll tell you, nobody has the likes of these.
Not even Bocek?
Not even Bocek.
Sir Kunzler.
You're Godwin, aren't you?
Oh dear.
Have no fear.
I'll tell you, nobody has the likes of these.
My God. Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer.
I was in a war. Right after the... And you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees.
Aye. Well... I apologize.
So Father would be satisfied. Only he'll never be satisfied. And the sooner you realize...
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down.
Not at all. I remember when I was 6 years old, he wouldn't talk to me for a week because I'd let him down.
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3 days until I was...
Only 3?
I always wondered...
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. I brawled and boozed and... But now...
And that's why you want to talk to Alder?
I've got to get him on our side and to...
Aren't we all on the same side?
Maybe everyone's saying that.
After your encounter with Father... Actually, I don't think you should...
What else can I do?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me.
All right, then. It's a nice idea, but we can't wait around without an army to back us.
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an outright...
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal to Sigismund. If he agrees, they'll follow.
I expect Alder's not the only one you're after.
You got that right.
Leave Alder to me. The plan sounds sensible.
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime.
You're starting to sound like a brother.
Burghers, patricians, and usurers. There with it.
You seem...
Oh, these grand out. I'd be happier if they just told me.
But then you'd miss...
Oh.
Let's hope young Lord Capon...
That's one thing. In that case, it'll be up to you.
It seems Lichten...
And how's he going to do it?
Well,
the only approach that'll work...
A lot of people, whether out of...
No, that's to be
Well...
Sigismund confiscated his... Not to mention...
Sir Bocek,
A man hardly puts his cup to his... Jobs comes up with a plan as full of hope.
On the contrary.
Does that improvement...
A few thousand only in order to get...
You've got my attention, but not my...
Don't worry, it's not just your money.
Really?
Anna of Volk.
Truly? Well, let's see about it.
I wouldn't mention the word...
All right. I have a lot of property, lots of subjects. I can't risk it all in a...
So you need guarantees that you won't be...
My guarantee is called Yet if I succeeded in marrying her or...
Maybe it's enough to find us...
Perhaps someone of suitable standing.
How about young Lord Capon?
He's a youngster still.
He may be young. He's got battle experience. And when he gets the estate, that's his...
If he gets it. Right now, Hanish... On the other hand, maybe it's not...
I'll convey your offer to Lord Capon.
I don't care what the young lord thinks. If he agrees, I'll be...
Pushing a friend to tie the knot to say...
The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice.
take a look at that. A nightingale surrounded by hawks.
Job's the nightingale. He looks more like a wet hip. Sir Hanush.
You do? Let's hear.
Young Lord Capon is going to get married.
If he's got some impoverished noble's daughter pregnant, I'll have his hide. I'm not going to support some bastard.
You misunderstood my meaning. I mean, with your blessing.
You arranged a marriage for my ward? Just like that? With who?
With the niece of Sir Bochek, Lord of Kunstadt. Her name's Yidka.
Bochek of Kunstadt? The Bochek of Kunstadt? Godwin, you conniving old bastard.
Oh, fuck.
I don't believe it. So, young Hans is to marry Kunstadt's daughter?
Niece.
If you're serious, I'll make sure that you get the Rattay parish.
Or you could make me the abbot of Sassa. Or what about a bishopric?
Forget it. Soon I'll be paying for a wedding. Not a word to Hans. I want to tell him myself. But let's drink to it, shall we?
Cheers!
Cheers to you, and to your parleying skills.
Sir Bochek, your niece Yivka can start preparing for her wedding.
So Hanush agreed, without reservations.
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my end of the bargain without reservation.
Thank you, Lord of Kunstadt.
Enough formality. We'll have a drink. What do you say?
Cheers to the beautiful Lady Yidka and the unhappy Lord Capon.
Here's to a good bargain.
So long.
Bloody hell.
I'm still hoping it works. We walk out of here with a clear plan. But maybe you were right.
Gentlemen, I think we can raise our goblet.
Is this supposed to be your secret weapon?
Like I said, miracles happen where you least expect them. Tell me, Godwin of the House of Odorin, what news do you bring us?
I bring nothing from the House of Odorin. But the widow of Waldstein and Sir Bochek of Kunstadt will support our cause.
Both of them. Good heavens, what did you promise them?
This is going to be a long story, and I could use a drink. So if you'll excuse me, my lords?
It would seem that we have all benefited from the break in these proceedings. New alliances have been formed. And I have also changed my plans. We shall still wait for Sigismund to withdraw his troops of his own accord. But we will wait with an army at our backs.
Yes. And how are we to raise an army? Wasn't it made clear at the meeting that no one wants to take the risk?
The only thing made clear was that each of us alone is weak, and that we could not find common ground. But that has now changed.
King Wenceslas is, by the will of God, the Balbatim of all his subjects. Not only the Christians, our community, and not only ours. They'll give you coin.
Yes! The Kuttenberg houses are still loyal to King Wenceslaus, and we stand with Lord Ruthard.
And if that's not enough, the houses of Leipa and Kunstadt will unite and march side by side.
My niece, Yitka, will take young Lord Capon as her husband.
Lords Kunstadt, Hanush, Radzig, and I will set out immediately. God willing, we will be back within 3 weeks, along with an army.
Now those are words worthy of a nobleman.
My friend, I still believe that words are more powerful than swords. And our words will ring in 1,000 voices to the glory of King Wenceslas.
After we conquered the city, you promised to restore order immediately. And then I find out things are even more disordered than before.
Your Majesty, we are sorry. We will put it to rights.
You've already said that. I want to hear real solutions.
We will put more guards on the roads and toughen penalties. We can have a few captured bandits executed as an example to others.
We do not care about bandits. We care about rebellious nobles and burghers. What will you do with them? How will you solve the chaos in the town administration, the rebellious miners, and the dismal yields? And how is it even possible that a rebellion against the king is smoldering here in the city?
What do you mean, sire?
I hear the resistance is coming from the Jewish quarter, from right under your noses. Why haven't you done anything?
We don't know who is behind this. Without evidence, we cannot punish them.
Otto von Berghoff did not ask questions in Prague either. He acted. And I advise you to do the same. Find a couple of wretches in a hole somewhere, point them to the Jewish quarter, and give them free rein to do anything. The city's Jewish community was and still is on Wenceslas' side. They need a warning.
We do not even have enough men to...
Marquardt, could you spare a few men for a while?
Of course, sire. I'll assign them to Eric. He'll take care of it.
So you see, all you have to do is make sure the city rebel get their share. You could at least manage that, couldn't you? And if the thought should cross your minds that you would get rid of the debts to the Jewish moneylenders this way, forget about it. Your debts will remain, up to the last groschen. Only now you owe us directly. And while we are on the subject of money, has the yield from the mines finally matched last year's?
Sire, the deposits are dwindling, and mining is becoming increasingly difficult. And to make matters worse, the miners started rebelling.
Don't take us for a fool. They'll stop rebelling when you pay them proper wages.
Your Majesty, we can't do that.
Silence! How dare you oppose the kingdom's protector? You're a bunch of incompetent sycophants. Chicken shits. Not any better than the scum hiding in the forest.
And drunks! Give them hell! Lazy fools, the lot of them.
How dare you?
Some of you are even swelling right here in the city council meeting. This is unbelievable.
Remove this swill pot from the hall immediately.
I'm telling the truth. This whole council
is a farce. The whole city knows it.
Lord of Zarjitz, your insolence just cost you your place on the council, and a month in the dungeon.
But...
Hopefully that'll be enough for him to sober up. And if not, put him in the pillory for a while, bailiff.
I'll see to it as soon as the council is over, Your Majesty.
All I hear from you over and over again are excuses and prevarication. And results? None. I therefore place the city council under the authority of Sir Marquardt von Aulitz, who is present here, with immediate effect. He will make sure you finally do your duty.
But, sire, that would be a violation of the privileges granted to us as a free mining town.
Silence! I am the only guarantor of your rights. You have to earn your privileges, not hide behind them. During my brother's reign, this idleness was perhaps tolerated. But that is over now. You were given a few simple tasks. But instead of working on them, you idled in the baths and lined your pockets. And let the traitors cast their nets undisturbed. But, unlike my brother, I am capable of creating order. And I assure you, I do not distinguish between those who stand in my way. Be they beggars, noblemen, or city councillors. You have 2 weeks to restore order in the city and increase mining output. I want clear results, and you answer only to me and Sir Marquardt von Aulitz now. No one else. The council is dismissed. You, don't go anywhere, boy. Be so kind and remain here. Our throat has become rather dry. And we still wish to speak with our friend von Aulitz.
Yes, sire. As you wish, sire.
Between the two of us, Marquardt, was I not perhaps too harsh on that? And speak candidly. We have had enough of false flattery.
Sire, you are harsh, rightfully. These councillors, they need to be shown their face.
Where are you going?
I'm sorry. For far too long. And the same is true of the Jews.
We know. Otto repeated to us several times that it is time to strike against them. We are glad he's not here. He would be intolerably self-satisfied if he knew we had heeded him.
Boy, can't you see the king's cup is empty?
You tend to us as if we were infirm. Boy, pour us a monastic wine. The monks had a good year. We have concerns, friend. The Hungarians are rebelling. Our army is falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of human mercenaries? They cannot be relied on. And we are no closer to our goal now than a few months ago. Thank you. It is a good year. If our father were still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of Wenceslas' reign brought to us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish. God grant him eternal life.
We won't need much more time. We'll arrest the traitor Otterin, and the rest will fall in line.
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill here. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough, sire.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass, and relinquished that throne that he has no use for anyway. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like him very useful. They made a puppet out of him.
Once you restore order, they'll join you. All you have to do is promise them the privileges they lost during Wenceslas' reign.
First, they'd have to be willing to make peace, at least among themselves. Jobs does everything he can to sow chaos, so that he himself emerges victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pull me some of that red.
I think Jobst is just waiting for the right moment. He'll switch sides when it suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more cities, and get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
You will follow in his footsteps, sire, as soon as you get the chance.
But the wine is good here. To your health, Margaret. And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in a land ruled by a good king.
Thank you, sire. You are too magnanimous.
Why? You did a good job. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, your majesty.
First, we need to crack down on the biggest troublemakers.
We're working on it. While the consul was meeting, Otto von Berghoff and his men set out for Rabosch. Alderin won't give you any more trouble.
He and Ruthard are in it together. Once we get Oderin, we can handle Ruthard easily. Rabosch will be yours. After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sire.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine, boy.
No. We shall have white. We have had enough of red.
White it is. Quickly! If Rabosch falls, others will follow.
I think von Berghoff's little contraption will find its use again.
If need be, we could use it to raise this town hall too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
But to bring it here to the square and point it at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
It's a splendid idea, but it won't be necessary. The councillors are quite fearful enough already that they can hide nothing from us.
There's been enough fretting, sire. You shall see. Soon we will drink to the conquest of another fortress.
You are right. So then, to victory. And you, boy, will you drink with us? So that you shall have something to tell your children and grandchildren.
To victory, sire.
To today's, and those of the future.
You? Such a good soul. Look, when Margaret Yost was boasting, didn't you say that Lord Kronstadt was going with them? Left a long time ago.
Must be maiden in her queen. Parish priest has quite a view. Sweating at the altar. Nearly drops his psalter. Alleluia Domine. Alleluia Domine.
How'd you like her wine, Chevalier?
The art of winemaking. Recipes are I myself was even the French royal court. The king himself had wine delivered for...
I expect his lordship had...
Best, this wine would perhaps be suited to the infirmary. where it would suffice for,
I'd like to drink a toast with you to our... So, touching, come now. I never had one. Truly. Oh, maybe once. See now. Only, there's... Fuck. I've got a tongue like a slight... Well, get something. His lordship is so unstable. To hell with that kegs. I had my eye on him all and left the rest of us.
You can bet on it. I've got a nose for booze.
I don't doubt it.
I love my Alicia.
All right. Sorry, mate, but you're right about Sigismund. The sooner he's gone,
like
the sooner life
a queen.
Holy
Drink to that.
Have mercy on us, O Angel of Christ, holy guardian and protector of my soul and body. Forgive me every transgression which I have committed this day, and deliver me from every craft of my enemy and adversary. May I not anger my God by any sin. The Lord Almighty grant us a peaceful night.
Huh. I still can't wait for that. I wouldn't despair just They won't. Who'd come here? What? I'm talking about fucking Sigismund, you twat. I love my Alicia.
All right. Sorry, mate.
Come on.
But you're right about
Finished. Pull up your skirt.
The sooner he's gone,
and I'll be done.
Returns to this country.
But let's drink to that.
To King Wenceslas.
Oh, you do it. Oh, like a queen.
If the Queen did this, there wouldn't be no war.
Oh, you do it. Oh, like a queen.
Fuck off. If the Queen did this, there wouldn't be no war.
Sigismund's men can trample over us one after another.
All right.
I am... that's the one. What's old Kunstad doing with that front?
Don't talk about it, lady.
I bet you made it all up anyway. I was just calling you...
begging to be introduced. Up of the French court knows me by that name.
Well, we're not in France now. Here, nobody knows.
That is about to change. About the girls? Or the
Best thing we could do is stay right here.
All right. The sooner he's gone, the sooner life returns to this country.
Christ.
So you keep saying...
I thought your Alicia was brown-haired, though.
What? I'm talking about fucking singers, mate. I love my Alicia.
Just a bit longer.
Aye, you already said that.
Let's drink to that.
To King Wenceslas.
This is about politics.
calling out, begging to be eaten.
Exactly the same as our holier than thous.
What is bothering you, young man? You should rejoice that you are to be married.
But I didn't ask for a wife. I wanted to prove that I was worthy.
Trying to agree on something they won't remember in the morning.
You're talking bollocks.
You farmyard beast!
The rat'll be good, I hope.
Now there's a piece of horseflesh for you, Rootard. Not like that nag of yours.
What the hell do you feed it with? It looks more like a damn bull.
Sir! Sir! There's some horsemen right out front of the fortress.
Ah, that's Peter of Pisac. Wouldn't come to the council, but he is coming happily to the celebration, you old fox.
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty.
Hey! Hey! Intruders! Enemies at the gates!
Seize the nobles! Kill the rest!
Pray for a quick death. Jesus! Just surrounded Christopher. He can't make it on his own.
Fucking hell!
Too slow! Knock her out! You think you can scare me? Not a chance!
Bash him on the head!
Not one step back!
Show what you're made of!
Got him! Caught him out swinging! Drive those horses out! You'll die! You won't be able to take another one like that!
Take that fucker out, damn it!
Come and work on me!
My fingers! On the head!
Jesus! Christopher, he can't make it on his own.
Help me! He wounded me badly!
Stand your ground!
Hey! Coming out here!
Jesus! They're surrounding Christopher! He can't make it on his own!
Done for! Slice him up! He's done for!
Stand your ground!
Yeah, damn it!
Nicely done. Drive those horses out!
We'll kick your ass! You won't get me! Show your stuff!
Jesus! They're surrounding Christopher! He can't make it on his own!
Hey! Someone's had it! Not one step back! Stand your ground!
Right! My head!
Hey, fuck around! Damn it!
You got it!
Horses out!
No chance! You caught him out sweetly! We'll kick your ass!
Another one like
You won't get me!
Go!
Oh, whoa. You let him on nicely.
Wanker!
I'll be done with you in a flash.
You let him on nicely. Nice strike. Do it.
Fucking hell.
For the cross!
Get ready to leave this life. No, you don't. Now you're mine, you bastard.
Jesus. I'm hit.
Keep it up. True blood.
He's done for. Done here, Horsons. That was a close shave.
A little too close. Oh, fuck me. Did my eyes deceive me? Henry!
Godwin!
How did you get...
Damn. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you. You turned up at just the right moment.
Is everyone alright?
Well, some are, some aren't.
They captured Odorin, Kunstad and Rutard. And they took Alder and Kunrad of Vector away too.
They wanted to slay the rest like dogs.
What about my father? And Hanush?
They left with Jobst long before that. I'm sure they're all right, but... not everyone was so lucky.
I tried to come as soon as possible and warn you.
You knew he was coming.
He wanted Odorin. He probably had no idea they'd find most of Sigismund's enemies here in...
I bet he couldn't believe his fucking luck.
And Sigismund will be moving at a gallop. We have to be really careful now. One wrong move, and he'll...
You want to give up now?
Nobody said anything. We'll treat the wounded, bury the... Then we'll hide in the Devil's Den and wait for Jobst and his...
If I survive the journey... Oh, God's teeth.
The king announced one more thing at the council. That is...
Fuck! Liechtenstein's got his people that...
The city rabbi is sitting up...
They're our allies. We have to help them.
What do you mean by we? Everyone here is lucky to be still breathing. Maybe Samuel will figure something out. He wanted to talk to you anyway.
He's here too?
Aye, escorting the rabbi. You should go and see them as soon as possible. And
anyway, we've got work to do. Godwin?
Give me a moment. Guard the walls until morning. If anyone shows up, I want to know about it. I'll be with Chris.
They put enough arrows in him to knock down 3 like him.
What about your horse?
I don't know. I saw him bolting out the gate. Someone set his mane and tail on fire.
Maybe he survived. Maybe he'll come back.
Or maybe the crows are feasting on him already.
So many dead.
Good to see you both. Alive.
Oh, come on. You know I've walked out of much worse scrapes laughing.
If it hadn't been for you, Henry, Von
Aulitz surprised even Sigismund with that. You should have seen the look on the king's face when he told him.
Well, thank God we all survived.
Well, not all of us. They killed Lady Anna of Volstein and many other nobles. It was slaughter.
And they captured our closest and most influential allies. Without them, we can hardly get the burghers on our side. We're stuck.
We'll figure out a way to help them.
But how? Our plans are ruined.
Get a grip. Whining doesn't help anyone.
You're right. When I drink too much wine, nevertheless, I have to admit it can't get...
Actually, it might. And very soon. At Sigismund's council...
God's wounds! We need to get back to the city and warn them.
I'm going with you.
Out of the question. Do you want to end up imprisoned again? You'll be more useful if you stay here and help Shishka. Henry, tell Samuel and the rabbi to get ready to travel. I'll try to get someone else to join. Jesus Christ.
Right, devil, this is tough as old boots. If a horse fell on me, I wouldn't get up again. Wouldn't even spare the ammo.
What will happen to his lordship now? And to us?
We have to take care of young Sir Christopher and hope his father comes back soon.
Yes. The best thing we can do is to keep doing our work.
What if the old lord doesn't come back?
Why the Jews?
Because I asked them. Most Christian. Besides,
they know what.
Sadly, those who...
What are you doing?
That's a good...
You're not.
I gave Yobs.
You don't...
Trusting your own and the backup. They can't...
Why would he need...
Sigismund is... But he's not...
He just met...
I'd rather... It's... Just because they can't...
So you're sending me...
You could say that. If it works...
What will happen to his lordship now?
Sacra.
What a gate. We could easily have ended up lying dead out.
Sam, I need to have...
Uh-huh. Just tell him.
What did you talk about?
We talked about your...
Why?
It's true, I did not. Remember how I stared at your sword when we first met? I recognized... Well... The thing is...
What? Pa's son? How did...
Yes. His son. That is... his bastard son.
Are you sure? We look the same age, and... Martin lived with me and Ma.
When I was born, he was already... Nothing. Proof, perhaps, that both your god and mine have a sense of humor. You know, all my life, I thought if I did not give a shit about that man, but now that I know I will never see him, it troubles me.
I can tell you about him if you want. This is not the end. Sigismund ordered confiscation of the property.
The king has approved that...
He's no king to me. He's a
What's a...
That is hard.
Nonsense. It is Christians set out to kill our people. Innocent and often defend... And all that with the king's blessing.
This is what we were afraid of. We need to get back. Will you come with us, Henry?
I'll come.
Very well.
I'll be back.
Hurry up. Did I not tell you we should not come here?
Otherwise, Rabosh would be left without a port.
No one knows where the...